Okay, so this is a GCSE French AQA role play from the speaking exam. It's a foundation tier. This is the first task we get, the role play, and you need to prepare it within your 12 minutes preparation time. You want to keep the details fairly short because you want to allow as much time as possible in the 12 minutes to prepare the photo card. The main thing to remember is this one is short and simple. You've always got one surprise element. You can think about what's likely to be asked at that point, but other than thinking about possibilities, there's not a lot you can do about that until you're in the exam. You always have a question to ask as well. The question mark means you're the person asking the question. It's not always the last bullet point, but there is always one on there. So start off by trying to work out where you're supposed to be pretending to be. Réceptionniste, hôtel clearly tells you the context. So try and picture yourself in that situation, because a lot of what you're going to be asked to do is a little bit predictable if you imagine yourself in a hotel in France. You always play the part where you're talking when you're in a situation like a tourist situation. You're always the person buying, you're always the person who is the tourist. You're never the person working in France. Some role plays are just you talking to a friend, but where they're you talking to somebody in a more tourist situation, you're always the tourist. So you're not the receptionist, you're the person going into the hotel, presumably booking a room. Okay, or wanting to check in. So then the first bullet point says chambre, combien de personnes? So personne, clearly to do with people. If you think about going into a hotel, you're going to book a room. People, what's likely to come up is going to be how many people are in your party, how many people do you want a room for, that sort of thing. So that's the word combien, how many, and chambre is the word for room. So even if you didn't know those two, you could have had a guess at what that was likely to be, because you're in a hotel, so likely to be booking in. So you want to keep it as simple as possible. So we want to say something like, I would like a room for so many people. Okay, so number one, all you need is I would like. So this is really key vocab for the role play. Je voudrais, you can do a lot with je voudrais. Room, remember, you've got this to help you. Chambre is given to you, okay? So it's une chambre, but if you didn't know whether it was masculine or feminine, it's not going to cost you a huge amount of points. And then pour, une chambre pour, and then any number really, deux, personne, and again, personne is given to you on the card. So try and use as much of the vocab as you can, and learn these question words: who, what, why, where, when, how many, which. Those kind of question words really give you a big clue, because if you know that's how many or how much, how many people, how much people is much clearer. So, je voudrais une chambre pour deux personnes. Leave it there. Yeah. Always write the number in a French word in the role play, because you don't want to put the number as a number and then come to reading it off the sheet and by mistake say the number in English, because you'll get 0 if you do that. So try and write a number in French that you know. Number 2, we don't know what that's going to be. You're going to have to put an exclamation mark there. Put that on your preparation sheet so that you can follow the order when you're in the exam. Remember, your teacher will talk, then you need to read the first one, your teacher will talk again. If you don't have that on your sheet, you might jump straight into question number 3 because you forget there's that surprise question there. So I would always put that there so you know you've got to listen. Number 3, sort. It looks like sort, doesn't it? We know chambre is room. Sort of room. 2 details. So again, you're booking into a hotel. You're saying you would like a room. So let's use that je voudrais again, because I would like une chambre. I would like a room. Avec. So then it's a case of what do you know that you could have a room with? Maybe a shower, une douche. You need two details. Et, what else might you know? A big bed, maybe you know bed, un grand lit, a big bed. Now, say for example you didn't know bed, you could get round that by just repeating, putting a full stop. So I would like a shower, full stop. Je voudrais une grande chambre. I would like a big room. Yeah, that's not quite the same as having a big bed, but it's kind of it's kind of playing around with the words we've got. So, je voudrais une chambre avec une douche et un grand lit. That's one sentence, but you've still got two details in there, or make it two sentences. Keep it simple. Number 4, manger. Hopefully you know is eat, to eat. But there we need to know the question words again, because it's not about what you're eating or what you're going to eat. Think about it. Somebody's asking you, the receptionist in a hotel is asking you about eating. Où habites-tu, you might know, means where do you live? Où habites-tu? That might trigger où means where, but you do need to learn those question words. So eat, where? What's the receptionist getting at? They're asking where you'd like to eat. Yeah, so hopefully you can think of a word like restaurant. But even if you can't, you can just use that je voudrais again. I would like. We know to eat because it's there on the card. Je voudrais manger. I would like to eat. In, hopefully we know that. Dans. Now you've got hotel on the sheet, so let's use that. Je voudrais manger dans. Try and remember to change it from a hotel to the hotel. That makes a bit more sense. I would like to eat in the hotel, but you'll get some marks if you just copied un hôtel there. Je voudrais manger dans l'hôtel, or you could have put dans un restaurant there. I would like to eat in a restaurant. I would like to eat in the hotel. Anything's good, whatever you know. But you can see how important je voudrais is for this role play. We can't really get very far without it. Last bullet point. Remember, you're still in a hotel talking to somebody who you're booking a room with. Aller en ville. Aller, go. En ville. Well, maybe we don't know that. But transport, it's the same in French. You're asking about the transport. Yeah. So where are you likely to be going? Maybe you know that's town, en ville. You're meant to ask about transport to get to town. Okay, but you could even get away with that if you think, right, all I know is transport and I'm in a hotel. So what type of what sort of transport do you use in a hotel? Taxis, often buses. Yeah, very often you don't have a car when you're in a hotel. Try and think context. What could you ask? You're talking to somebody who works there, who lives there. You might want to know if there's a bus, if there's a taxi. So you might want to just ask, is there a bus? Is there a bus? Il y a, there is. Il y a un bus. Il y a un bus. You can just raise your voice at the end. You don't need to change the word order. Il y a un bus. Is there a bus? Or you can always put est-ce que in front. Est-ce que makes anything a question, and then it's a little bit clearer that it's a question if your voice doesn't raise because you're stressed in the exam situation and you don't quite get the intonation right. So est-ce que is always good for making a question. Est-ce qu'il y a un bus? Is there a bus? Now, that might not get 2 marks. That might only get the 1 mark because you've not mentioned you're going to town. So, aller en ville. Let's repeat that. Let's say, je voudrais, I would like, je voudrais aller en ville. Yeah, so now you're explaining why you want there to be a bus, and that's totally clear there. But you'd get some credit for est-ce qu'il y a un bus, but just make it clear with a je voudrais aller en ville, and you'll get full marks, no problem. Got to make sure there's a question there, and that you're not getting confused and telling them about the transport. Don't say, I am going to town by bus. That's not a question. Okay, so the question that was surprise question on this bullet point was tu es de quelle nationalité? Tu es de quelle nationalité? So hopefully you would pick out nationalité, nationality, and realize that you're filling a form in a hotel, you're booking a room in. They want to know your nationality. You're obviously speaking with a bit of an accent, so you need to tell them that you're English or you're whatever, you're Polish, you're Chinese. So you need I am, don't you? So je suis, I am, and then it doesn't even have to match your nationality. If you can't remember that Anglais is English, you could always pretend to be French and just say je suis français, je suis française. But as long as you've got that je suis there, you'll get full marks. So that's a 15 out of 15 answer for the role play there, and you can see how important je voudrais was, and il y a, there is or there are, and je voudrais, I would like, gets repeated an awful lot. Okay.